During a family gathering at our spacious dining room, I decided it was time to confront the unsettling truths that had been gnawing at me for months. The room was elegantly set, the centerpiece a grand oak table adorned with our finest china and fresh flowers, casting a warm golden glow that should have felt comforting. Instead, it accentuated the hidden tensions and secrets lurking in every corner. I sat at the head of the table, embodying the role of the family's patriarch, confident that I knew my wife, Olivia, inside and out. She was seated to my right, her graceful hands resting delicately in her lap, her smile strained and artificial. Opposite her, our daughter, Emma, nervously fiddled with her wine glass, her expression a mask of unreadable emotions. "Shall we toast?" I proposed, lifting my glass with a deliberate sense of calm. Polite laughter filled the room, but my heart was pounding in my chest. This toast was not meant to celebrate anything, it was the first step in revealing the truth I had uncovered about Olivia's infidelity. On the surface, my life appeared enviable. Olivia and I were the couple everyone admired at social gatherings. She exuded elegance and possessed a natural charm that could illuminate any space. I had built a successful career as a senior partner at a prestigious investment firm, earning enough to afford us a stunning townhouse in the heart of Kensington and secure, private education for Emma. To the outside world, we seemed to be living the dream, but I had come to realize that dreams can often be deceptive. The unraveling began with subtle shifts, changes so slight they were easy to dismiss. Olivia started spending more time away from home, citing art exhibitions and late meetings with gallery clients. She had always been passionate about her work, but now she seemed distracted even when she was with us. Her laughter, once genuine and warm, had become a faint echo, a facade concealing something deeper that I couldn't yet grasp. Emma noticed it too. "Mom's been acting strange lately," she remarked one evening as we set the table together. She glanced toward the hallway where Olivia was engaged in another hushed phone conversation. "Do you think she's all right?" I asked. "She's fine," I replied quickly, not wanting to cause her worry, though I wasn't entirely convinced. Olivia's calls always ceased the moment I entered the room. Her phone, once casually left on the countertop, was now guarded like a classified document. When I inquired about it, she laughed it off, mentioning work-related matters. "Honey, you wouldn't be interested," she said lightly. Perhaps I would have believed her if not for the growing unease in my gut. The breaking point came when Olivia announced she was taking a cruise for just a week. "My old university friends and I have been planning this for years," she said casually. "You understand, don't you?" I nodded, though something felt off. Olivia was meticulous and thrived on planning and structure. An impromptu trip didn't align with her nature. Still, I didn't object, convincing myself she deserved a break. As she left, I watched her taxi disappear down the street, feeling a strange mix of sadness and relief. For the first time in years, I was left alone with my thoughts I wasn't ready to confront. The house was eerily silent without Olivia. With Emma away at university, I found myself wandering from room to room, trying to fill the void. It wasn't long before I noticed inconsistencies. The first clue came by chance. I was searching for a pen in Olivia's desk and found a scarf hidden in the back of a drawer. It wasn't hers, the bold and vibrant pattern didn't match her sophisticated taste. I picked it up, my mind racing. Could it belong to one of her friends, or was it something entirely different? Then there was her tablet, which she had left at home on the kitchen counter. I wasn't one to snoop, but when a notification appeared on the screen, I couldn't resist looking. "Can't wait to see you again," the message read. The sender was listed as A, but the intimate nature of the words was clear. I tried to rationalize it, maybe it was a joke, a harmless message from a friend, but deep down, I knew better. Olivia's secrecy, her sudden absences, her guarded phone calls, it all pointed to something more. My unease turned into suspicion, and suspicion demanded answers. The next clue came from her credit card statement. I usually didn't check it, but something compelled me to log in. Among the usual expenses, groceries, gallery purchases, there was a charge from a luxury hotel in Venice. Venice, nowhere near the cruise itinerary she had given me. The walls of my perfect life were starting to crumble. By the time Olivia returned from her trip, I was a man teetering between certainty and denial. I had to uncover the truth, but I needed irrefutable evidence. That's when I decided to hire a private investigator. The investigator, Michael Harris, was efficient and discreet, promising results within a week. I provided him with the details, the scarf, the cryptic text, the hotel charge. Follow the trail, I instructed. I need to know everything. Days passed in agonizing silence. Every time my phone buzzed, my heart leapt, only to sink again when it wasn't the call I was expecting. Meanwhile, Olivia acted as if nothing had happened. She kissed me goodnight, cooked elaborate dinners, even suggested planning a family vacation. Her performance was flawless, and for a moment, I almost believed her. Then Michael called. "You were right. I've sent you the photos," he said with a calm but firm voice. My hands trembled as I opened the email. There was Olivia, arm in arm with a man I didn't recognize. The photos clearly showed them together, laughing over wine at a cafe, sharing a kiss on a gondola in Venice, disappearing into the same hotel room. The man was Alexander Moff, a Russian art dealer with a scandalous reputation. A quick search confirmed what Michael had told me. Moff was a regular in Olivia's gallery and auction circles. He was wealthy, charming, and dangerous, a man who thrived on taking what he wanted. But the most damning piece of evidence was the final one. Michael had obtained Olivia's medical records, showing that days after her return, she had visited our family doctor and was prescribed antibiotics for gonorrhea. My stomach churned. This wasn't just betrayal, it was humiliation on a level I hadn't imagined. My wife of 25 years had risked everything not just for another man, but for a reckless affair that endangered our health. As I stared at the evidence, rage surged within me, but I didn't confront Olivia immediately. It would have been too easy. Instead, I began to strategize. She had meticulously constructed her lies, and I intended to dismantle them piece by piece. The dining room was set for the confrontation, the long oak table between us, adorned with Olivia's finest china and fresh flowers, a facade of normalcy masking the brewing storm beneath. The occasion was supposed to celebrate Emma's return from university and the visit of Olivia's parents from France, but for me, it was the perfect setting to unveil the truth. Olivia was in her element, animatedly discussing an upcoming gallery opening with her parents. Emma sat quietly, picking at her salad, her focus distant. I watched Olivia closely, noting every calculated smile, every rehearsed laugh. She was a master of appearances, but tonight I intended to shatter her facade. As the main course was served, I raised my glass, the crystal catching the light almost symbolically. I began my toast with a calm but firm voice. Everyone turned to me, their faces expectant, awaiting family and honesty. Olivia froze for a split second before recovering and lifting her glass with a practiced smile to toast the family. I allowed the silence to linger, the weight of my words pressing down on the room. "Olivia," I addressed her directly, "no wine tonight, or is it because you're on antibiotics?" Her hand jerked slightly, causing her fork to clatter against her plate. Emma's eyes glanced at her mother, confusion clouding her expression. "I'm sorry, Dad," she said, her voice tight. "What are you talking about, Michael?" I leaned back in my chair, savoring the moment. "Antibiotics for gonorrhea," I stated each word deliberately. "From your romantic getaway with Alexander Moff." The room erupted. Olivia's parents gasped in unison, their faces a mix of shock and disgust. Emma dropped her fork, her expression shifting from confusion to disbelief. Olivia's carefully maintained composure crumbled as she stammered, "Michael, please, not here." "Why not here?" I shot back, my voice rising. "Isn't this the perfect place to discuss how my wife of 25 years betrayed me, how she risked everything for a fleeting affair with a man I don't even know?" Tears streamed down Olivia's face as she buried her head in her hands. Her parents demanded explanations, their voices a cacophony of outrage. But then the most unexpected voice cut through the chaos. "Stop it," Emma shouted, her voice shaking with anger and fear. She stood abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. "You're not the only one with secrets, Dad." The room fell silent. all eyes on her. My heart pounded as I tried to comprehend her words. "What are you talking about?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Emma hesitated, her gaze darting between Olivia and me. Finally, she took a deep breath and said, "Alexander Moff is my biological father." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. For a moment, the world seemed to tilt on its axis, and I struggled to process what I'd just heard. "I found out last year," Emma continued, tears streaming down her face. "I did a DNA test for a school project, and it didn't match yours. I confronted Mom, and she admitted it." "Emma, please," Olivia pleaded, her voice filled with desperation. "This isn't the time." "No," Emma shouted, her voice breaking. "I kept your secret because I didn't want to hurt Dad, but now, after everything you've done, he deserves to know." I stared at Olivia, my hands gripping the edge of the table so tightly my knuckles turned white. "Is it true?" I asked, my voice trembling with a mix of fury and heartbreak. Olivia didn't answer, but her silence spoke volumes. The days that followed were a whirlwind of rage, sadness, and determination. Olivia's betrayal had cut me to the core, but Emma's revelation had shattered what little was left of my world, my marriage, my family, my identity. It had all been built on lies. Instead of succumbing to despair, I channeled my pain into action. With the evidence I had gathered, I filed for divorce, making Olivia's infidelity and the paternity revelation the central points of the case. I consulted the best divorce attorney in London, determined to strip Olivia of the life she had built on deceit. Olivia's attempts to negotiate were pathetic. She called, begged, and even showed up at my office in tears. "I made a mistake, Michael," she sobbed. "But we can fix this." "For Emma's sake," I replied coldly. "You mean the daughter you lied to me about for 20 years, the daughter whose life you've now torn apart?" Her tears didn't move me. I had already transferred our joint savings into a private account, cutting off her access to the funds she had so shamelessly squandered. I also ensured that Alexander Moff received a package containing photos of him and Olivia, copies of her medical records, and a simple note, "Stay out of our lives or this goes public." It didn't take long for Moff to disappear from the gallery scene. His reputation was irreparably damaged, and Olivia, with no financial support and no credibility, was left with nothing but the wreckage of her choices. Months later, I stood in the garden of my new home, the crisp autumn air carrying the scent of fresh grass and distant rain. Emma sat beside me on the patio, her hands wrapped around a steaming mug of tea. Despite everything, she chose to stay with me, her love and loyalty unwavering. "You're still my dad," she said the day I confronted her about Moff. "That will never change." Her words were a balm to my wounded heart. Though the past couldn't be undone, the future felt brighter with her by my side. Olivia, on the other hand, had faded into obscurity. She tried to contact me once, leaving a voicemail filled with apologies and pleas for forgiveness. I deleted it without listening to the end. Some bridges aren't meant to be rebuilt. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't known in years. Betrayal had torn my life apart, but it had also set me free. I was no longer bound by illusions or lies. I was free to start anew. As the first stars began to appear in the twilight sky, I whispered to myself, "From the ashes of deceit, I rebuild a life of truth." Betrayal may break you, but it can also liberate you. With that, I raised my glass to the night, embracing the future that awaited me. Reflecting on the tumultuous events, I realized how fragile trust can be and how essential honesty is in maintaining the bonds that hold a family together. The journey to healing was just beginning, but with Emma by my side, I felt equipped to face whatever challenges lay ahead. We spent countless evenings walking through our garden, sharing our fears and hopes, slowly rebuilding the foundation of our relationship. The scars left by Olivia's actions would take time to fade, but each day brought a new opportunity to strengthen the trust that had been broken. Olivia's absence created a void that was difficult to fill, but it also opened doors to rediscovering parts of myself that I had neglected. I rekindled old hobbies, like woodworking, finding solace in the creation of something tangible and beautiful with my own hands. These moments of solitude were balanced by the laughter and conversations shared with Emma, whose resilience inspired me to move forward. Together, we navigated the complexities of our new lives, finding comfort in each other's presence and the unspoken understanding that we had both endured profound betrayals. As time passed, the wounds began to heal. Friends and family rallied around us, offering support and encouragement. Olivia's parents, once stunned by the revelations, reached out with compassion, helping us to see beyond the immediate pain. They shared stories of their own struggles and the importance of forgiveness, not necessarily for Olivia, but for our own peace of mind. Their wisdom provided a broader perspective, reminding us that while the past could not be changed, the future was still within our control. Emma, too, found her own path to healing. The revelation about her paternity had been a seismic shift, but it also allowed her to embrace her true self without the burden of secrets. She pursued her passion for art with renewed vigor, channeling her emotions into her work. Her paintings became a reflection of her journey, each stroke of the brush telling a story of resilience and self-discovery. Watching her grow and thrive was a constant source of pride and inspiration, reaffirming the strength of our bond. In the professional realm, I continued to excel, but with a newfound appreciation for balance. The relentless pursuit of success had once defined me, but now I understood the importance of nurturing personal relationships and maintaining inner peace. My career provided stability, but it was the connections with Emma and the supportive community around us that truly enriched my life. Olivia's departure served as a catalyst for profound personal growth. While the pain of her betrayal lingered, it was tempered by the strength I discovered within myself and the unwavering love from my daughter. The experience taught me invaluable lessons about trust, forgiveness, and the resilience of the human spirit. It reinforced the idea that even in the face of immense adversity, there is potential for renewal and transformation. One evening, as autumn gave way to the first hints of winter, Emma and I sat by the fireplace, sipping our tea and reflecting on the journey we had undertaken. The flames danced, casting flickering shadows on the walls, symbolizing the tumultuous path we had navigated and the light that now guided us forward. "I'm proud of us," Emma said softly, her eyes meeting mine with a depth of understanding that words could scarcely capture. "We made it through the worst together." I nodded, feeling a sense of fulfillment that had eluded me for so long. "Yes, we did. And we'll continue to grow stronger from here." As the seasons changed, so did our lives. The garden that had once been a symbol of our fractured family became a place of healing and new beginnings. We planted new flowers, each bloom a testament to our resilience and the beauty that can emerge from even the darkest times. The act of nurturing new life mirrored our own journey toward renewal, each plant thriving under our care just as we did. In the years that followed, the scars of the past remained, but they were no longer the defining elements of our existence. Instead, they served as reminders of the strength we possessed and the importance of honesty and integrity in our relationships. Olivia became a distant memory, a chapter that had been closed, allowing us to focus on the present and the future. Our story became one of healing and rediscovery, a narrative of overcoming betrayal and building a life grounded in truth and mutual respect. The lessons learned from the pain were invaluable, shaping us into more compassionate and understanding individuals. The journey was far from easy, but it was ours to undertake together, hand in hand, facing whatever challenges lay ahead with courage and hope. As I look back on those tumultuous years, I am grateful for the resilience that carried us through and the love that sustained us. The betrayal that once threatened to destroy us ultimately became the catalyst for a deeper, more meaningful connection. Emma and I emerged stronger, our bond unbreakable, ready to embrace the future with open hearts and unwavering determination. From the ashes of deceit, we indeed rebuilt a life of truth, a life enriched by the trials we overcame and the love that endured. Betrayal may have broken us initially, but it also liberated us, allowing us to forge a path of authenticity and genuine connection. As the stars continue to shine brightly in the night sky, so do the memories of our journey, guiding us toward a future filled with promise and endless possibilities. Thank you for being part of this story with me. If it moved you, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Tom's Story. I've noticed many of you who enjoy these stories aren't subscribed yet. By subscribing, you're not just following a channel, you're becoming part of a community that values deep, meaningful storytelling. Let's continue exploring these heartfelt journeys together. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you won't miss our next story.